I don't read the manga. That's the only thing. The only reason I know about anything is because everyone talks about it and everything's spoiled. Like I didn't even watch Spider Verse and I already know that everything's canon. So like that's all I know. Welcome back, guys, to the Third Party Podcast, where we are your third party opinions for film and animation. And I am Josh. Alex is not here with us, sadly. He is going to be gone for a little while. Not sure when he'll be back, but for now, it's going to be solo podcast. But I have a guest, a very special guest, Xsense.
Yo,
Whoa. Yo,
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 guys.
yo. Yeah, this is not a very professional podcast, but we are here. Um,
hmm
I've had a lot of people ask me to have you on because
Thank you.
they know that we talk, so they're like, "Oh, you should get Xsense. You should get Xsense." That's crazy.
Appreciate it.
I've been excited too because it's rare that I have a guest that does similar things to what I do.
hmm
Because I feel like a lot of things led more towards like motion design, advertisement space. But
hmm
what about my like character animation, VFX? You know,
Yeah,
I need
now
I
we
need, I
can
need
talk about it.
exactly. Uh so I guess do you wanna just like tell them about yourself to maybe people who don't know, which I kind of doubt people don't know. To be
Yeah, I
fair.
think there are people that don't know me, but um, yeah, I started doing anime edits. I think in 2016.
Yeah.
It was just basic After Effects stuff, and I think I started with Sony Vegas, like
Oh, you're a
just
Sony Vegas
cutting
guy.
clips.
Oh.
Yeah, and then in 2018, I think I saw one editor who used like a 3D model, I think, in his MEP part,
Oh, okay.
and I think that's motivated me to start Blender. And nowadays I'm more like, yeah, I'm doing more 3D than back then. So it's basically like all 3D and a bit of anime scenes in my edits. Yeah.
Mm. It does seem like you. I mean, recently it felt like you're going more towards solely 3D. Like it feels like the more
Mm-hmm.
edits you make, you put more 3D scenes and less of like the actual anime.
Yes, I noticed that it feels, for me, it feels a bit too repetitive to do like anime editing, the same stuff all over,
Mm.
but
Like
just with
transition
different
stuff.
songs. Yeah, transitions,
Yeah, I have noticed that.
same text, and so
The flying
I
3D text.
yeah,
I remember
it
that.
was. I was at a point where I was looking for a song, and when I opened After Effects, it was the same process. Yeah. So
Yeah.
with each edit, I try to like um, go more into the 3D stuff, more 3D scenes. So it's a bit
Yeah.
more unique, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely is. Because I also noticed too, like, I think I saw your Chainsaw Man one.
Mm-hmm.
You you had anime stuff obviously, but then you also had like the one that I debated with the con shot
Yeah.
um with like I think the way that you comped it was cool because you still used anime stuff, but like it was like
Mm-hmm.
comped into I think real life footage with
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Denji being impaled donut turned into a donut. Um
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious on your like next 3D project because I I helped out a little bit with like mocap stuff, so I don't know if we can talk about that one a little bit because I guess
Mm-hmm.
it concerns both of us, so I figured might as well talk
Of
about it a little
course.
tad.
Your help, yeah. Like I think I will asked you in February or March, I don't know when it was,
It was a
for
while ago,
like
yeah.
yeah, for doing a motion capture
Mm.
for my new project that is still like that I'm still working on. And yeah, it's the Attack on Titan video, and I think without your motion capture suit, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. How I have it in my head, because
Oh,
some things like I'm not really good at animating yet. I can do
I
like
think
the
you're pretty good. We've worked together. I'm gonna be honest. Me and Xsense have worked together in the past with Klein stuff, and I know he's really good at
Mhm.
animating. I assume it just takes you like a lot of
Yeah,
time to,
it takes a lot of time,
yeah. But
but
obviously the
yeah.
mocap speeds that up because I think the scene that I did for you was like can I
The
mention it or no?
yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
like the scene in Attack on Titan where Aaron just kind of like throws on his jacket towards
Mm-hmm.
like the last season. I'm not gonna spoil too much of Attack on Titan, but just yeah, the scene where he puts on his jacket. I can see that being hard, especially the claw sim that you did because you posted like a test render
Mm-hmm.
on, and like the fact that like he's gripping the shirt, well, I mean the
Yeah, it
jacket,
was
and then
hard.
also putting it on. I'm like, I have no idea how the fuck you you simulated that.
Yeah, it was weird because I'm using Marvelous Designer for like Cloth Sim
Yeah.
recently,
Oh, I
and
love Marvelous.
it's it's really nice to, because it's like real time. You can just move the fabric around, and I'm still not really into it. I don't know. I don't really know how to use it properly, but
Yeah.
I think I found a method to like have one part of the jacket stick on the hands, so it's like it doesn't.
Is it almost like a pin sort of thing?
Yeah, it's like a pin. There's actually a pinning tool. I just
Oh
found
yeah,
it.
there is.
Yeah.
I remember
So
trying to use Marvelous a long time ago.
mm-hmm.
I I had to like adjust the clothes like mid animation because
Yeah.
I guess I mean like you can do that, like you'll play it and then you'll notice like a clipping, so you go back a couple frames and you'll push it
Mm-hmm.
the clothes out of the clipping spot. But I noticed that like it does this weird jump thing, like
Mm-hmm.
it'll kind of follow and then it'll just be like doot. Like it's like a weird it's a weird movement. I don't know how to like transition it properly, if there's like a way to like kind of, because it's almost like layering sims when you do something like that. So
Yes. Yeah.
I do gotta figure it out. But Marvelous Designer is probably the best thing. I just wish I paid for it because I only had a free trial for a little bit and now I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, guess we're running Blender cloth for a while.
But in my recent project now, I have a scene. I posted it on my story too, where I rebuilt Aaron's house and the environment of it.
Is that the
And
one with his bob?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That one's really
and
good.
yeah, and for that I have some mocap for you. Uh, so yeah,
Wait, you have
but in
mocap
that
of me from that?
um
I don't think you did.
yeah,
Were you
I
going
I,
to
I
ask me
have
for it?
one. I'm going to ask you, but I was planning to the freedom one that you did for me, the freedom
Oh, the freedom.
mocap.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Was there like a moment that
uh,
just like had like a perfect spot for it?
yeah, that I was originally planning to like do the clouds environment, but it takes like really long to render it out in Blender. I don't know how I'm gonna do the clouds, but
um, I mean, do you use Emergen or no?
I use it. But
You could theoretically. make the clouds in Embergen, and
Mm-hmm.
there's well, not outside of like rendering in Blender because that's a whole different story. But if I think, don't quote me, I think there's a way to get camera data from Blender into Embergen, and I think you could just render the clouds out from there, which is
I see.
way faster because I mean Embergen's real time. Also, the fidelity is a lot higher. I think
Mm-hmm.
directly from Embergen. I think that might be an option. I was thinking about doing it because they like especially I'll do like fog cards with it
Oh, okay. Yeah.
where I'll just kind of have like an orthographic viewed camera and have like smoke going off and I'll just render
Mm-hmm.
that. But then obviously I'll comp it in Blender after. I can't really think of doing a full 3D cloud scene, especially considering maybe your camera movement, which is the biggest thing. Because
Yeah.
if it's super dynamic, doing like a 2D card system might not work. All right,
No, that.
we might have to wait a second. Yeah, I'm excited for your project. Like, I'm extremely excited. I'm just kind of I like the idea of like helping people out with certain things, even if it's just mocap or whatever. Because then
Yeah,
I can just point
you're
to it and be
you're
like,
such a huge help for me.
I
Like,
no problem.
it
But
wouldn't be
I
possible.
do like I do like the thing where it's just like, ooh, that's me. I moved like that.
Yeah.
To some degree. I know you probably edited the mocap a little bit because it's not perfect.
I think I didn't edit the motion capture data. It was really nice to just
Like just
like
apply
I
it.
didn't see any flaws.
That's good. Yeah, I had to record it. I
Uh,
think like twice because the first time the hands were like open for some reason, even though my
mm-hmm.
like like closed them, so it was
Yeah.
just like very weird. And I also like shot through the ground like 5 times. So I was like, I had to re-record that. I hope you eventually get one.
Yeah, that
I'm not sure if that's like a
that would
plan for
help
you.
me. Like I really want to get one, but they're so expensive. I don't know how much you spent on that suit, but
4,000?
goodness. Damn.
It was. I mean, like I saved up mainly a bunch of commissions to like straight up
Mm-hmm.
like it was that was my goal. I was like, I'm doing commissions to get the mocap suit. That is it. Um, I mean, it's not as bad. You could also get like the first generation one because what ended up happening is I had enough money to buy the mocap suit,
Mm-hmm.
and it was during when the first generation was out, and then they immediately released the second, and I was like, do I wait? I'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
I'll save up a little bit more. So that was a bit annoying.
But I think it's worth it. Oh,
It is. I think if you're
yeah.
extensively doing character animation and stuff, it is very worth it.
I was gonna say I think a Rococo Studio have like different versions of mocap suits, if I'm
Yeah,
not wrong.
they only have the two. They have the just the Smart Suit Pro and the Smart Suit Pro 2.
Is there not one that is like not that good but still can like
I
do
mean
motion capture?
they only
Or
have
is it the first one?
it's the first one. They only have the
I
two
see.
suits. That was
Okay.
the one I was originally planning to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like almost like 2,000 or $1,000 less.
Oh,
So
okay.
it depends on what's worth it because the price on mocap suits changes drastically. You're
Mm-hmm.
either you're either paying like 4,000 and then you jump to 20,000 for like the Xsense your name suit.
Damn.
And then the I feel like you should get that just because it's your name. Like it's just it works. That and then I think the studio ones, which is like 100 grand, where you have all the sensors in your room, and
Yeah.
those ones are insane. I also heard you
Imagine you
can
you have like you have access
like that
to
kind
that.
of tech.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be so happy because I was watching I follow this dude who has one, and he set up like his
Mm-hmm.
whole basement as like a studio for it. It's like cinematography something. He made like an Unreal game. He does these things too where he'll have like objects in his room,
Mm-hmm.
like a box or something that has like trackers on it, or I don't know how it
Oh,
tracks necessarily.
okay.
I think it just uses like sensors or whatever. But like he'll
I
be able
see.
to like move the box or like pick up a gun that's like there.
Nice.
It's just clean. Like it's almost like direct to Unreal when he records
Mm-hmm.
too, and it's just clean, like no weird glitches or anything.
That's
It's
nice.
kind of insane.
I tried the AI version
The
of
Rococo one.
the Rococo. Yeah, it was really good. Um, for like basic stuff
Yeah.
or just simple minor movements. But when I tried to do the jacket thing that you did for me, that was it was not looking good from a different perspective.
So
Yeah.
I think maybe in terms of how you record, it might
Hmm.
be an issue. Like, were you recording it like front view or like side view?
I was front view.
Front view.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be the perspective thing. Like, I think if you did it from the side, you might be able to have gotten it. But
Hmm.
I feel like just the fact that there is that issue in general
Yeah.
kind of messes it up a lot. Like, I used deep motion a while ago um, before getting the mocap suit,
Mm.
and that worked. But I never tested hardcore movements, and you were only allowed like 10 seconds. So I
Yeah.
just
That's.
recorded some like basic like thing for like a test edit that I never released to a song.
Hmm.
So that was, yeah. It's not the best to use AI sometimes. Hopefully, eventually it'll get good. I'm kind of waiting
Yeah.
for text to motion to be like a fully thing. Like do jumping jacks
Oh
and then go
yeah.
into a kick, and then it'll just do it.
That would be nice. Yeah. True.
Yeah,
I think in the next few months or
you probably
I think next year that's possible. That's something like that.
most likely.
Is the
Have you have you heard of Casketer? Casketer.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
yeah the autophysics animation software. Yeah.
Yes. I haven't used it much, surprisingly, as much as I do hand animation a lot for like my videos because I mean there's just
Hmm.
some movements I can't do. So I'll try to animate it. I still haven't like utilized it. And I have it on my computer. I haven't
Same, same.
fully
Yeah.
utilized it, but I feel like I should because it is like when I first tested it, I was like this is like the craziest like just auto physics. The auto pose feature too is really good. Like the most natural movement when
Hmm.
you pose a character, like the whole body will move to make it more natural rather than like doing like
Yeah,
just one part. I don't know. It
yeah.
stuff like that's like really helpful. And I wonder, I don't know how necessary it is because it's already mocap, but I was thinking about putting mocap into it. I don't know.
Ah,
I don't know
maybe
if that
maybe
would be
that
too
could
much.
like help out to clean
I
to
would
make like a
I would feel
cleanup.
like it. Yeah, like clean up, like because I figure like if I do like let's say a punch, it will
Mm.
probably add like a little bit of like an extra like wiggle to the impact
Yeah,
of the
like an
punch.
overlap layer. Yeah,
Yeah, some like secondary motion type stuff. It would be so nice. Now, all
yeah.
right, I'm curious, as I always am. I've said I'm curious a lot today, but that makes sense. I'm excited to have you on. So, the do you have any questions in terms of like I guess like anything like you want to discuss?
I'm curious about AI in general because I did a commission for Jimmy.
Yep.
Yeah, the intro for his Japan video,
Yep.
and I used some AI to um, have like a anime style
Oh.
filter, something like that.
Can you send me
And
that after? I'm curious on how that looks.
yeah, of course. I find it crazy that it was so easy to like use AI and
Just oh, there's my
just
edit. Like I don't even have to do
yeah,
any work. It's just like,
yeah.
oh, there's the style.
Of course, I did some editing on that
Yeah.
too, but it really, yeah, it was such a time.
That is
I
that is crazy.
time saver. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
AI.
AI is just crazy. How it developed over the past months
Oh yeah,
and is developing.
yeah. AI. I haven't talked about AI in so long. I want to utilize it way more, and I'm not sure exactly like where you're curious on it. I mean, I know recently I used like on my cyberpunk video, there
Mm-hmm.
are two scenes where I utilized AI to stylize the frames a bit.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's like a shot where David goes a little bit like psychotic because
Yes.
Lucy taken away, whatever. Spoilers, I guess. And they like it just kind of I just kind of wanted to make it more psychotic, and because I relied on not like a consistent image for
Mm-hmm.
AI, like I relied on the very flickery randomness to do that. So I think
Yeah.
like implementing it in ways that are at least possible right now are really cool.
Yes,
And I
for
know it's
sure.
gone way better. I even have like the built-in, well, not the built-in, the local version of Stable Diffusion that like Corridor uses,
Mm-hmm.
um, which took way too long to set up, and I still know how to use it that well. I am curious. What do you want to like know about it? I'm kind of like very aware of the AI stuff, and I'm curious on how you want to
Um.
discuss it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So for my AOT project, did you heard of like there are these Drake songs that are like
Oh, the
I think
AI
you
Drake
know
songs,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna or I tried to do something similar to that by
I'm curious
recreating
about
Aaron's
audio stuff.
voice.
Oh wait, that would have been sick, and have him say what you want.
Yeah, just have him say what would fit into the edit and or having dialogues that between characters that yeah,
Damn. I
you
tried
know
to.
what I
I
mean?
Yeah, I know
That
what
would
you.
be
I know
nice.
exactly what you mean. Was looking up like all the AI voice stuff like recently because
Mm-hmm.
um that's like the biggest thing for me outside of like the visual stuff. I mean, like visually, I primarily use stuff like textures or whatnot
Mm-hmm.
for unique variations of things. So that's not crazy. But audio wise, I know there's like a Google Collab thing that I can send you, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what you're using to test the Aaron voice. Um, so we'll see. I forget the name of it, but I wanted to eventually get to the point where if I made like let's say a short film, because eventually that's like my goal. Go from
Mm-hmm.
these anime CGI recreation slash I don't even know what we would call them, just fan animations
Yeah.
to like pure short films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to go to like short films, and in the short films I was like it's hard to get people to voice
Mm-hmm.
act and stuff. I mean, like primarily I feel like you already know too, like in terms of like collabing with like
Mm-hmm.
other artists, it's like
Yeah.
it's almost impossible unless like you're willing to pay everybody
Mm-hmm.
some degree. So like
Yes.
when you have like not that much money or no money at all and you want to make a short film, you're like, okay, like let's let me see
Yeah.
if I can have my actors be myself, but with like AI. Like just instead of like a text to AI voice, I was thinking more like talking, so you get the inflections similar to the Drake stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like a guy singing, and then
There's a
taking
Drake filter.
yeah some Drake filter
Yeah.
with all that, and I think
Yeah.
that it opens up so many doors for me when I think of just creating short films when I don't have like let's say I have a friend and they're like
Mm-hmm.
I like their voice but I know they're not going to be available. If I can just train my friend's voice with their permission obviously, and then I
Yeah.
put it in, I feel like that just saves a
Yeah, that's
massive amount of time, and I can get like the take that I want as long as the model's good, obviously. But
yeah, I think that would help like a lot of people who don't have the resources to to have a team or to get people
yeah, exactly.
helping them
Like
out. Yeah.
uh, fuck. Have you watched Fire Force?
Just a few episodes.
Do you know the character Joker or the voice actor for Joker? I think he also played the guy with the tie in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, I
want
know.
his voice so bad. I just want him for voice actor in something.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the fact that like, I can't hire Drake, but like let me just put him in my short.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I feel like stuff like that's really cool. It gets muddy though when you start thinking of like making money off of it. I think like in terms of for fun fan
Mm.
stuff, it definitely works. It does get muddy though when I think about it, because like the best option that I see from like me using it,
Mm-hmm.
let's say like short film, which I'm planning on doing one either this year or next year.
Mm-hmm.
The like just having a friend sign off on like being able to use it, like like Xsense, I want to use your voice. Like you down? um I feel like that type of stuff would be cool. By the way, this is AI generated
Yeah.
right now. Xsense isn't even real. he's
Yeah.
been he's been
I'm
AI the whole time.
Alex.
I'm Alex. Yeah, Alex never left. He's just Xsense this whole Xsense filter. Yeah, I mean it's cool. I think even
Yeah.
in your case, it works even better because it's the whole fan thing where you can
Mm.
really go into it. I'm not fully sure how the tech works on things like that. Um, outside of getting like, I mean, they're people's voices and you train a model. As far as I know, that's how it works. The Google Collab thing that I have, I know you can train voices on it, so that's why I think it would be
I
okay. I don't know
yeah.
how it works fully yet.
I use this website called 11 Labs, I think
Mm.
it's the name, and I tried to do Aaron's mom, Carla,
Oh, okay.
and I picked some clips of her like talking because in that AI website you can upload like short audio clips,
Yeah.
audios. But I think the problem is that it's not like for Japanese stuff. It's like
Yeah,
English
it's
still.
very
Yeah,
English based. That's
so
the
that
biggest
doesn't really
problem.
work.
I've seen audio clips like the Drake one or like Kanye or whatever, like they sound
Mm-hmm.
great, but then whenever I've heard like Naruto, unless it's the English voice actor or like
Mm-hmm.
anybody, it sounds weird. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't work. Um I don't know if that's something that can be fixed or if English is just easier for an AI to read. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know how that exactly works because Japanese is like very flowy
Yeah.
in terms of the speech patterns. Where like
I
English is like
yeah.
the thing is really cool. Like it's just do 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 do. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And Japanese is like I think with
Konnichiwa. Like
yeah.
it's just it's very flowy. I don't exactly know how to put it, but that is that is difficult. Ugh.
I just checked out the website again, and they have a new uh, option called multilingual, so they can
Oh,
do German, Polish, Spanish, Italian now, but no Japanese.
um, well, maybe you could do like Vinland Saga. Or no, wait. Why was I saying Vinland Saga? I don't think that's there. That's Norway. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
What's a good
Island.
show? Oh, Castlevania. Castlevania could be a good one. Or you could just get like have you seen the memes with Chainsaw Man's like I think it's the Puerto Rican dub. I could be wrong with Power and her just making like moans
um,
when she talks. Like I feel like that'd be wicked
no.
funny. I don't know. Never mind. But that was such a sidetrack. I was just thinking about that. You can make some interesting stuff with AI. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
I recently, I'm gonna change the subject a little bit,
Hmm.
but I recently made the Luffy or not Luffy, Doflamingo versus Law edit. Um,
Yes.
I'm curious on what you think about it. Like overall, if you think there's definitely still room to improve, which I think there is, but I like to know because I'm trying to get better at at doing everything,
Hmm.
and I'm just like I don't know if this is fully there yet. Maybe one day, but I'm not fully sure.
What I loved about it was so, I think for me it was catchy from the start on because of the first clip with
The
the shoes,
oh the
the
shoes that was
like how he's levitating first and then going down. That was like really
yeah.
cinematic for me.
Initially, he was supposed to walk in, but then when I
Hmm.
finished making like the storyboard thing for it, I realized that I could loop it technically
Yeah.
with him being in the air doing a slash, and then if it would loop back, he lands from that slash
Mm.
technically. So then it kind of goes into like a loop, which I don't think a lot of people have done 3D wise, which I've been wanting to maybe do. Well, not 3D wise, people make loops, but in terms of what we do, like the anime
Hmm.
live action stuff, I'm like, no one's really made loops for these types of animations, which might be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm next. I'm not quoting this on the podcast because I don't know when this is coming out, but I may or may
Hmm.
not be doing a spoiler alert to people who want to know One Piece, Gear 5. So,
Oh yeah.
like hopefully, I mean, I was already talking to Xsense beforehand about doing that,
Hmm.
which might be cool. By the way, do you want me to call you Xsense or do you want me to go by your name?
Uh,
Which I actually don't know your name, so
you don't know my name?
I don't think so. I don't think you ever told me.
So my name is Atahan. I don't know if you can say it. Let
Can you
me
say that one more
type it
time?
in. Uh, it's Atahan.
Atahat. Okay, I'm gonna call you Xsense. I don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah, that no problem. All good.
that I didn't expect your name to be a like that hard to say for me.
It's a Turkish name,
Ah,
so it's
yeah,
a
that,
bit.
that makes sense. I was talking to you about doing. Well, you mentioned that I should do Gear 5 and then got a YouTube comment. And then I was like,
Yeah,
fuck, I keep thinking about doing Gear 5 and I really want to do it.
there are some fan-made animations about Gear
Yeah,
5,
there already is. But they're all
but
like 2D stuff. I don't think anyone's
yeah,
ever done 3D yet.
I didn't see any 3D stuff about it, so I was because the law video of yours
Yeah,
did so well, and it came out really nice. I was yeah,
I think it might be cool.
I think Gear 5 would be really nice to see it in 3D too.
Yeah, I want to I can see animating it very easily. Luffy is one of those
Mm-hmm.
characters that Rigify is one of the best rigs to use on Luffy. I
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Because of his stretchy abilities, and you can literally like pull a rig and have like
So
the arm
yeah,
stretch out and like scale like just like that one part. So you can do like all the inflating stuff that he does just as a part
yes,
of his
yeah,
rig. So I don't even have to like really go crazy on coming up with like a system for his rig to work a certain way. Like I did with Chainsaw Man, for instance, where I had to limit his like his wrist rotation
mm-hmm.
because a chainsaw is literally like all the way through his arm. So I'm like, he
Yeah,
won't be able to move his wrist, so he can really only go like this. and move his
Yes.
forearm with it. So it's a lot less tricky. And something that's also really cool, because I know Gear 5 is supposed to be like this cartoon, Toon Force, whatever the fuck everyone's calling it.
Yeah.
It would be really cool to like start doing some techniques that I haven't been able to do because they're not considered realistic, like squash and stretch
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff with like smears and things like that. That would be really
Yes.
cool. Doubling as well. You know how like Arcane they do like the doubling gun, or where
Yeah.
like someone moves and it's like duplicated their arm or something.
Yeah. I actually don't know how they do that. Do they like do
It
it in post, or can you do that in Blender?
it's a 3D thing. A lot of it, I've been watching videos on it where the it's essentially like duplicating the mesh or the part of the mesh that you want to be duplicated, and
Mm-hmm.
it will, you know, you kind of like pose it for like that 1 second or that one
Mm-hmm.
frame that's in there.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, but it is essentially just duplicating the mesh and stylizing it to some degree.
I see.
But I'm also lazy, so I had to come up with some procedural system to do duplicates, and
Okay.
I recently figured it out because of a 3.5 tutorial on GeoNode Sims, um, like the simulation nodes in GeoNodes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I figured out a way to essentially turn on and off duplicates based on a certain mesh and how many duplicates I have. It's almost like
That's
an
nice.
it's an onion skinning effect, but I have it so you can turn it on and off at a certain point. So if I cut out a mesh, I can
Mm-hmm.
like apply the geonodes to that mesh, put it on, and then it'll read that last frame that just happened, and it'll create the duplicates. Less stylized
Yeah,
though, where there's
that's
like less
nice.
pinching and stuff. Maybe you could also theoretically render it after the fact, or like render it as a separate pass, so that in that way you can do some like compositing
Yeah,
tricks with,
distorted and yeah.
yeah. That
Oh,
like fast box blur, you know, add like some like weird smear effect to it,
yes. Yeah.
stuff like that. It took me so long to do the duplicate thing because uh sim nodes are so weird. I couldn't delete like the current frame and keep the old
Mm-hmm.
frames, so I had to make the first frame a transparent material, so that way it would show the original mesh, and then I could have basically a separate
Damn.
object as the duplicates. It was
That sounds complicated.
it is, and there's also no UV unwrapping from what the original material was.
Mm.
So currently it doesn't work great because the UVs won't make any sense. If anything, it'll be like a
Mm.
solid color or like a
Mm.
weird thing. So I have to figure out some way to do that. But for now, you know, just do normal duplicates, duplicate the mesh, and call it a day.
I think you mentioned the onion skin uh
Yes, yes.
thing. Yeah. I wish Blender had something like that because I was looking for
They
when I tried to do the animation
they have
myself.
there's a to Blender
I think
Market. There's a
yeah.
plugin for it, but it's very slow on like very dense meshes.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to do it on like a really basic version of your mesh, and then you could have it. I used to have it because
Yes.
I downloaded the onion skinning thing
Mm-hmm.
because of the Cyberpunk video, because I really wanted to do a 3D version of his Sin Devastan powers, because it's essentially just
Mm-hmm.
onion skinning,
Yes.
but it didn't work at all. So I it was like that. I texted another dude who did the onion skinning in simulation nodes, or
Mm-hmm.
initially there wasn't simulation nodes, so he did like some weird glitch that happened in Blender. But he was like, it's not gonna work out for that, and I was like, damn, I really need it.
But maybe in the future I can
Yeah, maybe.
do
I
it.
kind of hope they add it, because the most I've seen onion skinning wise is the motion paths, think that's what it's called. Have you seen that?
Actually, no.
It's like
No.
you'll grab like part of your bone, like let's say your hand, and if you have like an animation
Mm-hmm.
like this, you can calculate the motion path, and it'll give you like a visual on screen to show you like the arc of it,
Oh, okay.
where the
Okay.
keyframes are. So that's like the closest thing you can get, which is still
Mm-hmm.
helpful because you get that, you see what your arc looks like, and if it's a clean arc or whatever, because I know that's big animation. You gotta make
Yeah.
sure your arcs are nice and your things or whatever. I don't know. It does get complicated.
I
Oh
see.
damn. We've been recording for over an hour. That is insane. I didn't even know what time it was.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's at 57 minutes. I mean, we had like a 10-minute intro, but that's still
Mm-hmm.
longer than I expected that we were going on for.
Yeah, I thought we were talking for like 20 minutes.
Actually, I mean, we could still keep going. I would love to have 2 episodes with you, only because I'm stressed out that I'm not gonna have enough episodes until Alex gets back. So it's up to you if you want to keep
Yeah,
going.
sure. We can keep going a bit
Okay,
more. Yeah.
I might, I think I might end this episode here though, because it's really long.
Yes.
Um, is there anything you want to close out on topic wise for that we just talked about?
Mm, yeah, I think the things that we talked about were, I think, uh, it was interesting to talk about it with you.
That's
The AI stuff, the sound stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. Do you hear my cat right now?
Yes, I
You can.
think yeah, I can
It keeps meowing. I don't let him in here because my wire management in the back of my computer is so awful
hear.
that he goes in it 24/7, so it's just bad. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the third party podcast. I'm Josh. We go sponsor links in the bottom. There's not much to say. Go check out Xsense. Most of you are probably here because I announced that Xsense was gonna be on this podcast. So we don't have a big podcast. I'll be at least honest with that. That most people will probably come here to hear you. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that
Thank you for
all
having me.
all this is here. Watch out soon because apparently we're gonna have another episode of X. with
Yes.
Xsense. So I don't know if that's gonna come out next week, but I'll probably space it out. So no promises. No promises. YouTube audience people. Okay. All right. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
See you in the next one. Bye.